Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. And in case you didn't notice it, the squid there is something you don't see very often on these underwater cams. A actual live squid. I saw a few of them kind of floating around there, and there's one right there. Kind of not exactly live. I backed it up a minute or two just so I could show this, but what a beautiful day out on the Miami cam here today. Take a look at that. Don't get to see that very often. Live squids in the wild too. I don't think they have farm-raised squids though, do they? Well, let's take a look at, I actually have two quotes for the day. One is "Desperation can make a person do surprising things," by Veronica Roth. I actually looked to see who Veronica Roth is. I figured I'd better start being careful on who I quote first. So I believe she's a writer. She did one of a famous book or something like that, a sci-fi book or something along those lines. But it's true, desperation, and we all know this, desperation can make people do strange things or surprising things. And I'm sure we have all seen this through our entire lives. And why do I bring this up? Because I think there's a lot of desperation going around, particularly in the silver markets. If you take a look at for the last 3 weeks to 4 weeks, the just sheer monkey hammering that we've seen to the downward side, from a high of almost 27.50. When did that start? A month ago. And then these overnights and thinly traded markets in the middle of the night hammering on gold, hammering on silver. And the reason I believe they hammered on gold is just because they had to. If gold continues to go up, silver is going to follow it. And the only way they're going to get that silver price down to where they need it to get out of these losing contracts that they have is to hammer the prices down and hammer gold down, I guess, as well. So that's what we're looking at right now. In my opinion, is desperation. Meanwhile, COMEX, owned by the CME Group, just they do what they do. You know why? Because they make huge money on those trades. Whether it's a winning or a losing trade for these big commercial banks, they make huge money at the COMEX Group. So why do they want to turn off the money spigot there? That's where they make most of their bucks. They don't make it off a guy that buys a few contracts or small companies. They make it off these huge commercial whales. So the more you think about it, the why, why don't they? Well, that's why they don't do it. They make a ton of money. And if they did do it, they'd have to admit that it's been a crooked marketplace for decades, and that would just set them up for lawsuits out the ass. They'd lose it all. So they have no reason to stop this CME Group. They can't even go in and say it exists, otherwise they'd set themselves up for a lot of liability. Meanwhile, they're allowing these banks just to go willy-nilly desperation mode by the looks of it, from silver 27.50 to the low where it is today, or where it was yesterday. We'll see what happens. It looks like we've had a good bounce. So the next quote is very pertinent to this, and I believe this, I don't know, Michael Hyatt, I should have looked that one up, maybe the guy from the Hyatt Group, but when you know your why, you'll know your way. And this is exactly what we've got going on here, and this is why I'm not shaken by these big downs in silver. This is not why I'm shaken in the price of gold. I've been around for a long time, decades, enough to see that, and decades I've known now who does it, because you just don't need, knowing the why is great. Knowing who and how is even better. And as I've always said, of course the game is rigged, but if you don't play and you can't win, and how do you win? You know the why, who, and hows, okay? And that's what I'm trying to teach you on these videos, and I've been showing you on these videos for quite some time. Let's take a look at the gold and silver prices. Crazy action this morning. Again, it's been a seesaw. I think tug of war would be a better analogy of it. And I think the tug of war primarily with silver is two things. Is you've got the tug of war is happening between the tail and the dog. And the old tail and the dog, the tail wagging the dog, or when it really should be the dog wagging the tail. And I call the tail the paper markets. And for decades, the tail has been wagging the dog, which is the physical markets. And I believe that's kind of reversing right now, and I believe that's what the tug of war is going on right now, is this lack of physical product above ground on silver due to many things. Not that silver is a super rare metal per se. A lot of silver is still on Earth, but don't forget, a lot of it gets recycled, gets thrown away in garbage landfills. So a lot of it does disappear. It's not as abundant. Available above ground availability is not as abundant as most people think. Now, when people say, well, there's tens of thousands of pounds of silver sitting over, this guy's got it for investment. Remember, I said available silver for sale. There is a lot of silver out there, whether it's in a landfill or whether it's in one of you stackers' safe, you ain't selling it. It might as well be in a landfill, if you got my point here, okay? Available silver, and I think that's exactly what the paper markets is up against right now. They're up against a big dog, a big angry dog as well, probably, that's going to rip the tail off at some point. But let's take a look at markets today, and this has to do with bad news. And you know what? I think these systematic takedowns that we have seen in the COMEX markets, whether it's Globex or NYMEX, CRIMEX market, these big takedowns have been a result of desperation. The more and more I look at it, because it's been so in your face, in our faces, it's been so aggressive on top of it, and it's also what I believe they've been spoofing the evening markets as well. I believe they've been spoofing thinly traded markets and knocked the price down. I mean, it's just so in your faces, it's not even funny. And most of you veterans out there, veteran stackers, know that the CFTC is pretty damn worthless when it comes to anything. Don't forget, it's a government regulation, the same government that allowed Bernie Madoff to make off with billions. I remember Bernie Madoff saying, not to me personally, but I remember him saying somewhere, a quote from him saying that when he'd get regulators showing up at his door, he would think, all right, this is it, they got me, it's over. And then they'd come in and he'd snooze them over, and he more or less said they were dumb as rocks. Without saying they were dumb as rocks, he said they were dumb as rocks, and that's what you're dealing with. Or implicit, involved with it. So you've got two types of government officials. They're either stupid or they're involved with it. And you know what? This is not to paint them all. I'm sure there's a couple good people out there working in government. I'm sure there's a few good regulators out there. Individuals, not the whole, not the agencies themselves. I think the agencies across the board are all pretty frickin' rotten, if you ask me. But I'm sure there's a few good individuals out there, so I'm not going to throw those individuals under the bus. But if one of those individuals were listening right now, I'm saying, I'm sorry, Joe, but you work for some crooked fucking bastards. All right, let's take a look at the market here. Again, just a seesaw of action. I was thinking perhaps we might see sub $21, and the week's not over. They could still monkey hammer it again. What we have seen, what you have witnessed, folks, this is history. What you have witnessed for the last 3 weeks or however long silver's been monkey hammered down from that 2750 area is just pure, simple, manipulative, collusive behavior of big commercial short positions in the COMEX and Globex markets and other raptors and bottom feeders and whatever you want to call them. So maybe they wanted, and the desperation is because you run out of time. When people run out of time, desperation, they become more desperate. And I believe this is why we've been seeing this such aggressive behavior on silver, particularly the silver markets, is because the time is running out. They know this, okay? And this is what's creating this desperation, in my opinion, why it's so in our faces right now. Almost unbelievable, jaw-dropping to some point. Gold markets, 1830, 273, a high of 1857. Currently sitting closer to that high at 1850, 148. Silver, 2127 the low, 2196 the high. Looks like come bouncing up to that $22 mark again. Currently sitting at 2189. So this is probably, it happened a little while ago. We'll take a look at the 24-hour chart. And platinum holding its own. Platinum already had its down day before silver and gold started getting really monkey hammered and whacked a while back ago. But platinum, after it bounced off its low, it's kind of been sitting in that mid 900 range, and it's up a little bit as well. Palladium, wow. There's a metal that I don't really talk about much because hardly anyone buys it, and really it's a waste of time talking about something that we don't do much business with. Very few of you guys out there own it too, I'm sure. But no less, if you own palladium, you've got to be watching this going, holy shit, palladium going from almost a $4,000 high at some point, high threes, to almost the price of gold. What's going on here? It's probably industrial related to some degree, but no less, me not knowing the platinum and palladium markets as well as I know how crooked the COMEX and NYMEX markets on platinum, who knows what kind of games could be playing with this as well. But palladium sure looks like a good buy at these levels, unless, let me turn that phone off, sorry about that. I forgot to do that. And, actually, that's my dad. I gotta give him a call back here shortly. So 983. And low 942 and a high of 984. So we're sitting really close to that high on platinum right now. Let's take a look at the 24-hour charts and see where we're at right there. Okay. Currently gold price 1851. So yeah, we're sitting back in that 1850 level. And take a look at this chart. Again, last night markets were drifting up pretty good, and you can kind of see right here, slightly before the opening of the COMEX market here, you see it gets whacked pretty hard. But then there's that slingshot kind of thing that we were talking about a few weeks ago when we kind of saw this battle, this tug of war going on. And since then, it's kind of just like drifting sideways. Let's see what happens the rest of the day. You know, we could still see a lower gold price, but I think the news today had a lot of effect on that. You know, the CPI report, which, you know, you had to be stupid if you didn't think the CPI was going to come in a lot hotter than what the idiots were hoping it would for. But no less, or the optimistic government narrative, you know what I'm saying? Oh, everything's fine, everything's fine. Remember, that's what I told you the Fed is. The Fed is like the captain of the sinking Titanic. And they've been sinking since 1913, since the Fed was in charge. But no less, the sinking is accelerated right now, and all the passengers are probably waist deep in water. You've heard this analogy from me. And what does the Fed or Powell say? Relax, folks, relax. This is all part of the plan. Everything will be fine soon, you know. The jawboning that everything's going to be okay, and it's not going to be okay, folks. It's just not. They've screwed it up royally. And again, we're in an accelerated phase of that right now. So all Powell is and all the government narrative is just a you know, that little pamphlet that's in the front seat of the airplane that tells when you're in a plane crash, you know, put your heads between your legs and take deep breaths. Well, there you go. It's just a way to make you relax before the ship goes down. And sorry to say that, that's a harsh way, but it's true. Take a look at silver markets, same damn thing. You're going to see that slingshot right there. They've knocked it down pretty low. Overnight markets kind of drifted upwards, which simply just tells me that they weren't monkey hammering or spoofing gold or silver last night. They're probably more worried about other things. Maybe they got their fill at sub $23 silver and filled some of their contracts, and they're not in such a bad position. I have no clue, but no less, folks, it is nothing less short of collusive behavior by big commercial traders in the COMEX and NYMEX markets, and spoofing too. I think I've witnessed for the last 3 or 4 weeks in the evenings as well. Let's get out of there and do what I really do better than looking at charts and other things. There's a lot better chartists than I, but you know, I'm back to the belief that the charts, you know, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say this, and I really love Chart Guy. I haven't heard from him in a little while, but I sincerely believe that when it comes to the downside, that these manipulative traders use the charts. They use these charts on the downside. When it's the upside, they can just go in there and cut the head off the chartist just by sheer manipulative behavior. You know, so what? The chart looks like silver's ready to take off at $50. All right, you know, the chart shows as though the chart says we're definitely going to take off, and then it gets chopped right at the knees. And what does the chopping? It's not natural. Organic chart rhythms. It's man-created. I mean, I guess it's all man-created, but it's really just pure manipulative behavior, in my opinion. Well, okay, I got a little carried away here. What do I do best? I am the number one thing that I do best. I am a frontline soldier on the retail and wholesale markets of gold, silver, and platinum bars and coins. While a lot of other people are good at charts, great at charts, and I respect that, and a lot of people are great at talking about charts, and a lot of people are also really good at paper trading. You know what I mean? I am in the physical business, all right, and this is my specialty. So if you're a longtime viewer of mine, you've been watching my videos here for the last couple months, I'm going to tell you, you're going to probably want to fast forward through the JM page here, because you know the routines. Nothing's changed. The cheapest products are still the best deals out there. For you folks that are new, stay with me, and I'll tell you what the best deals out there. And hang on, buy 100-ounce bars are the best deals out there. And why do I pull up JM Bullion page? Because I could pull up the other two, but we'd be here forever. But I advertise here in my local store in South Florida. I'm a brick and mortar. Here comes my advertising to beat JM, SD, and APMEX. All right, on what I call the least expensive premium for recognizable products. that you can buy from these guys. And what are those products? Silver Eagle, certainly not one of them, way overpriced still. So are some of the other products like Maples, compared to what you can buy 100-ounce bars for, 10-ounce bars, kilo bars, and 1-ounce bars. Stick with generics right now, folks. They're still the cheapest. It looks like ones are still pretty pricey. These 10s are kind of pricey. Kilos and 100s are the best deal, but if you can't buy kilos or 100s, stick with 10s and 1s if you can find them at reasonable levels. Again, I advertise to beat JM Bullion, so if you live in South Florida, I'm the go-to guy for sure. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays, and I have a great crew here. They're always going to tell you what the best deal is as well. As far as gold goes, I'd say the same thing with gold. If you're new to these videos, and again, or you kind of just want to refresh yourself what the best deals are, stick with the gold bars. We have Valcombis and other gold bars out there. I think last I looked on small quantities, JM was like at spot plus $90 or spot plus 90 something dollars. I can beat that price. Again, that's what I advertise to do as a local brick and mortar business. And again, nothing wrong with JM Bullion or the other APMEX or SD. But if you can find a good local dealer, keep that money in town, because when you come spend it here in my store, I spend it with local mechanic, the local restaurant, the local business person, so it filters back through all our pockets. I always like to keep the money local. And your local dealer, like me, should be able to beat JM, APMEX, and SD Bullion on their prices. And as I said, best deal, still 1-ounce bars. After that, the next best deals for overall industry recognizable products would be Canadian Maple Leafs and Krugerrands. I haven't looked at British products, but British usually aren't bad, and the Australian products aren't bad. I like Philharmonics too. But by far, a spot plus 90 or less, gold bars are the best deal out there, better than coins. I think coins are probably anywhere from spot plus what are they? Spot plus $100 or more now for a lot of these products. Maple Leafs, Gold, and Eagles, I think, are spot plus 120, 135 in that range. And again, at bars, I'd rather buy a gold Valcombi bar plus a 1-ounce silver bar for the same price I could buy an American Gold Eagle. I just feel I'm getting more value there than just paying a premium for an Eagle or something. Back into charts, I've ignored charts here for a little while, and I love these things. Well, actually, I love macro trends because they get some of the greatest charts here of all. I want to just kind of remind you silver folks that say, well, oh man, I've been waiting for silver to go up so long, I've said it before. I said it in the videos earlier this week. If you're in this to get rich quick, then you're in the wrong place, all right? But one thing I can tell you that silver will do for sure is it'll hold its value. It's a good hedge against a falling dollar and security, because and same thing with gold, all right? You're not going to wake up and hear it went bankrupt. You're not going to wake up and hear that the government seized it, or that it went bankrupt, or that they're going to tax it heavily. Well, they can try to tax silver and gold heavily, but that's only going to apply to, you physical gold stackers. You're going to just lose it in your backyard or go have a boating accident. So, I know. So anyway, silver, look, we've seen a couple highs, and I'm telling you, man, this high right here got knocked down. This was a manipulative knockdown. You see that knockdown right here? It should have never been knocked down from that level, but it was by JP Morgan, who admitted to doing it, got fined, I don't know how many freaking dollars they got fined, and a bunch of other companies that got spoofing the gold and silver markets. They got busted, and throughout this period, not much happened. You know why? Because it wasn't that the price of gold and silver went down. It's just that the overall narrative, the general public doesn't understand gold and silver. And if you're listening to this video, you're a rare few. Trust me on this, you are. You're a rare, you think that, your neighbor, no, you're probably one of 100 people on your street that really understand gold and silver and talk about it, all right? So when those 99 people saw this price get destroyed, they didn't know it was collusive behavior. And in fact, and that's why I hate corporate press, because they don't tell the truth about this stuff. And that's why I don't have any respect for government agencies, because they don't agency nothing, all right? Again, what did I say yesterday? What was yesterday's video about? We'll get into that in a moment. It was about, oh my gosh, I forgot about that's what happens. I'm having a senior moment here. Yesterday's video was about having, oh gosh, here we go. I'm gonna have to look now, because their credibility. I knew it was a C word. I just forgot what C word it was, all right? I'm going backwards here. So anyways, no worries, silver guys. I think this collusive behavior is going to blow up in their face. I think the dog's going to wag the tail at some point here. COMEX has got a major issue with credibility. It's growing more and more and more. Look what happened with the LME, with the nickel. They've got credibility issues. In economic world, all these players that run these casinos, these Wall Street and governments, they have credibility issue, folks, and their credibility with a lot of us is nearing zero. Take a look at this market being propped up. Holy crap, 236 points. Woohoo! That's an update for the Dow Jones. They got to be breathing a sigh of relief. But where is that money coming from? Why are these markets up? Why hasn't it collapsed? These are the whys that we talk about right here. You know what I was just saying. When you know your why, you'll know your way, all right? Well, in my opinion, why we're seeing these markets not collapse totally is because you're seeing a huge amount of Fed money pumped into this through the PPT, which is the the plunge protection team, which is a real deal. If you're not familiar with this, just pause this video, type in Google or whatever you use, plunge protection team, and you'll find out everything you need to know. It's real, it's not a conspiracy, and they go in and they prop up markets, they buy bonds, and that's what I believe, and people that are a lot smarter than me believe as well, is that this market's being propped up to prevent a complete total blow up of the bubble. They're gradually letting the air out of the bubble. So that's the only thing these bastards learned from the 2008 collapse is, here, I'm going to try to do my best dumbass voice. Ready? Collapse bad, collapse bad. How's that for a dumbass voice? They didn't learn anything else. They didn't fix the problem either. In fact, they just made the problem worse, folks, and that's why this next blow up is even going to be bigger than the last one. But they're letting the air out slowly, but it's going to be long term. Even if they let the air out slowly, that means we're going to be in a zombie economy for a long time. Not freaking good. Hey, Bitcoin, I feel funny because I actually feel bad for Bitcoin. I really do. I know that sounds strange for the last 2 years I've been saying that. Well, listen, I never trashed Bitcoin. I'm a free market guy. In fact, all you people that have made good money in Bitcoin and kept it, man, kudos to you. I'm serious about that. You understood the game. You understand the whys, the hows, and the way, that's fine. The people that get suckered into Bitcoin, I feel bad for you, all right? But no less. I said it 2 years ago, plus that Bitcoin would never survive for 2 reasons, and it would never do well for 2 reasons. Because number one, governments, these are both number one. Number one, governments and banks hate competition. Number one reason. And once you start to see the regulation and the incoming of BlackRock and these big organizations into Bitcoin, this is why you're seeing Bitcoin was supposed to be a place to go. Remember that? You're going to put your money into Bitcoin, not in the dollar, not in the stock market, because it was a safe place to go. Look at it, half, folks, and it keeps declining to this day. Bitcoin is done for as far as anyone becoming millionaires. The Bitcoin, to me, at this point, once it hits its bottom, I believe it's going to be around for a long time, is nothing more than a glorified money market account, online cryptotized money market account. All right, and it's not even safe. They can take it away from you at any time. Well, anyways, let me get out of there. And wow, 48% down from the last year. What's the all-time? It's still up 28% this is where the millionaires were made here in cryptocurrencies, right here, up to the people that bought in at these levels right here, maybe these levels, but really people that bought in at these levels right here, these are your millionaires right here, $400, $500, $103. I remember when it was $6 and I saw a Wired magazine. I tried to buy it at $6. I couldn't figure out how to do it, but no regrets there. Not a big deal. I would have lost the password anyway. I'm sure of that. GATA.org, all right? They're the number one out there as far as how, why, who when it comes to gold manipulation, all right? Don't care about that too much. Let's see here. What else we got going on? Upwards reversals for gold and silver coming soon. If this was written yesterday, then he's right. But come on, Craig, we already knew that. Upward reversals were going to come anyway based on what we've been seeing with this monkey. They were going to get it down to so much. And as I said, it's not done yet. I'd be very surprised if we got it below 20. The only way I see sub $20 silver is a complete financial collapse like we had in 2008. But it could happen. The problem is never underestimate the power of these big commercial collusive banks that are never going to get in trouble by the CFTC. Never underestimate their power because they have huge money. It's like people said a long time ago, never underestimate the Fed. That's also true. But no less, you can't underestimate them, but the end game for them is ultimately a failure. So let's take a look at what else is going on here. Not too much. So if you're a new stacker, keep gata.org on your bookmark bar. I'm sorry, I just want to recheck here to see if there's anything we can talk about. Didn't get a chance to look earlier. Look, Pam and Russ Martins are talking about what I was just talking about with the plunge protection team, and that this stock markets are being propped up by governments. They're even saying these stock patterns are impossible without manipulation. And I think I talked about that yesterday as well. Let's take a look at ZH, because there was something interesting. I've been talking about Ukraine and how that, remember I was telling you that this is a true story. This is an article right here was written on March 14th, 2014. Ukraine gold reserves were flown to the United States where they're safely held. We freedomized their gold. 2014, folks. This is way before the Russians even got involved in this shit, all right? This is back in the coup days, all right? Isn't it strange how we flew right after the coup that we inspired in that region? We flew their gold to the United States where we hold it today, and somehow it's like 7 tons of it disappeared into thin air too, but I'm not going to get into that. If you watch my video on that, you'll know what I'm talking about. And why did I say this gold is the United States? And Biden just signed off on that bill that said that that we can sell all our outdated old weapons to, and this is what I said, we can sell all our outdated old obsolete weapons that have been filling up in warehouses and never used to the Ukraine, when we know that they're going to get blown up before they even cross the border. We know that the Ukraine's never going to win this war. They've already lost the South and the East here, unfortunately, because of bad guidance by the CIA in the United States. But that's just my opinion, of course. Didn't mean to add that in. And let's see if this video gets knocked out. But meanwhile, and this is fact, Biden just signed that thing that said, okay, Ukraine, you can buy all the weapons you want. It's like a lease program of some sort, and then we'll bill you for them later. Coincidentally, not many people know this, and nobody in the press asked, well, hey, that's nice. We freedomized their gold back in 2014 after their coup that we inspired. And we're holding their gold. And this is true. But oddly enough, somebody brought this point up here, and I like this right here. Colonel Reisner's comment about the amount of Western equipment that gets destroyed or captured by the Russians. So much has gotten captured that Russia has printed Russian instructions for some weapon systems like anti-tank rockets. So even the Russians have got some of our weapons now, our old outdated weapons. The second is some of what's going on with these Western aid deliveries is the equivalent of cleaning out the garage, folks. And this is what I said we were doing, is we're cleaning out the military. I've talked about this, I've ranted about this. For the military-industrial complex is a lot more powerful than any of us realize. We forget about them. We forget about who they involve. They involve covert agencies like the NSA, like the CIA, like other agencies we don't even know the names of, all right? And governments that aid them, all right? There's a huge amount of our budget goes into the military. And basically what we're doing is we're cleaning out a garage with Ukraine. Unfortunately, it's going to be at the cost of Ukraine blood and land, unfortunately. But a couple people have quanted, look at this, look at the weapons we're giving them. And again, this is not a show about this, but how does this play into gold and precious metals? Well, folks, when you know your why, you'll know your way. And, when you know that desperation can make people do surprising things. And if you take a look at the current government we have in our government right now and our central banks, you know they're in desperation mode. So, and how do you know that? It's things like this. When you really take it apart, you don't listen to the narrative. If you ignore the official narrative and think for yourself like I'm always telling you to do, the connected dots become so obvious, you wonder how you even missed it. All right, I'm getting out of there. I'm going to, I don't want to get too politicized on you here. And let's take a look at, give me 1 second here and see if there's any new headlines popping up there. By Goldcore, a little known, it says gold is set for a major rally. We know that, Goldcore, but I'm glad you're reminding everyone as well. Inflation starts with President Biden comments on higher than expected CPI. Who's he going to blame it on? He's going to blame it on the Russians. And then he blamed it on the Russians. I got a great little meme for that, by the way. Yep, remember what I told you, you're not getting the full news on this, folks. They are winning, it's just a sad situation. It's created by the current administration and past administration. Remember, this is not just a Democrat thing, it's a Republican thing as well. A lot of these Republicans are war hawks. In my opinion, they should go smoke turds with McCain in hell. And I'm sorry, I'm pretty rough on that, but these guys never met a war they didn't mind sending your kids to die in. And it's a fact. And McCain was the same way. You can eulogize the guy to be a wonderful person, but you know how many people that guy killed? Really, all right? And I know, freedom, and then bullshit. In the name of freedom, half these fucking wars were bullshit. All right. Sorry, anyways. Didn't mean to go off on you. God, this is just frightening. Look at these people, man. And you know what it is? It's nothing to do with disinformation. It's entirely to do with they don't want people disagreeing with them. All right? That's it. That's it. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Wow, no good news here, folks. Boy, we don't want to really get into this too much. 33 billion more for Ukraine. He just gave him 20 billion and outdated weapons that'll be destroyed before they even cross the border. What a fucking moron. Excuse me, I said it. All right, just my opinion. Remember, I didn't vote for either of the guys in the last election. You know, I'm just living freaking what do you call that world? You know, Superman's bizarro world when it came to that last election and the candidates that we were given. Like, holy. All right, anyways. So anyway, there's my conspiracy, and I'm sticking to it. Let's take a look at yesterday's video. COMEX credibility is 0, all right? I hope you liked that video. I did. I kind of felt pretty cool about what I was saying, and I didn't think I was too far off in my opinions there. Hey, thanks for the algorithm there. And, ooh, algorithm. What is algorithm food? I guess I'm going to have to ask Marcelo, my buddy Marcelo, who is the... he's the editor for these videos. Look what he writes for me. Nom nom. I don't talk like that. I had to put that down here. That's not my nom noms. But I guess I got to ask Marcelo what algo snacks are. What are algo snacks? If the real price of silver never comes out, then the price of silver becomes value. No, never going to happen, Ali. Relax, man. Relax. Have patience. No. Relax. Patience for some of you folks. Marcia. Give me 1 second. Watch the video. Yep. But no. Well, I think the explosion is coming. Yeah, you're right, Don. In some way, I think we're going to see an economic. But they're going to try to let it down slowly. Maybe it'll succeed. Maybe we'll end up like Japanese with a freaking zombie economy for like 20 years. Nothing happening. You just stay in your same shitty situation your whole life. Anyway, sorry about that. Hello, hey, your next video should be the opposite of the one you did. Hello, $20 silver. Yeah, I don't know, Clust. I mean, I've always been quite frank with you that these are my opinions, and I'd be surprised if we see sub 20. I'm still going to be surprised if we saw sub $20 silver, but never underestimate these bastards. That's true as well. Jagzilla, how come no one is talking about LME when no longer deal with silver? I got to be honest with you, LME. Put some quotes down here in today's video, and I'll kind of look it up. I don't know. I didn't even know LME was very heavily into the silver, but wouldn't surprise me. It's a crooked market. Who wants to deal with crooks? Once you know the casino is crooked, and again, we know it is. We know the casino is crooked. We represent such a small amount of people. Once the majority figure it out, they won't play at the casino anymore. That's the deal. Michael, thank you, and thank you. I'm going to have a sip right now. Johnny Boy's been getting a good deal out there. He likes the constitutional silver. It's priced like at spot plus 7 1/4 an ounce, spot plus 6 1/4, spot plus 7 1/4. I have it here. I can beat the other guys' prices, but unfortunately, you have to live in my local area to buy it from me. 6 weeks waiting time in Australia. Diesel double price. There you go, Raymond. You know, hey, listen, I feel for my Australian friends, man. I have a lot of friends from Australia that I've met over the years in the surfing, when doing my surfing thing and stuff. I feel for you folks, man. You guys, your government went full tilt on dystopian madness down there, and now economically they're not much better. But you know what? The problem is that maybe they're trying to follow the United States. In New Zealand, I don't know what the frick they're doing. Hey, thanks for watching, Raymond. Tony, yeah, we're all dead. Nobody gets out of this picture alive. No one gets out of this movie alive, dude. And you won't live forever to keep buying the dips. Yeah, higher price. You'll see higher prices. Again, patience. It should have been brought up at the smallest market out there. Yeah, Don, again, like I said, it's not just the smallest market, it's the most highly manipulated market, I believe, in the COMEX markets overall. And I believe they're all manipulated now to some degree, but silver being the most of them all, in my opinion. He thinks gold is worth $37 an ounce. Yep, I'm willing to pay them double that price, and as I'm sure you are, Mr. Heart of Texas. Thanks for commenting there. You're right when it comes to me, way smarter. There's a lot of people way smarter than me, Joe. Once you acknowledge that in your life, you feel much calmer about who you are and where you stand on the feeding, on the totem pole or whatever it is in the food chain. Let's see here. Yep, they are the mob for sure. Linda, BS, COMEX makes it look like inflation. Yeah, I know, it's pretty sad. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Living the dream. Phone rate on COMEX. You go, man. You make that happen. I'd like to see that happen on Wall Street, the Wall Street Silver Boys. I'd love to see them do phone raids, man. That'd be awesome. But as long as they kept it civil and polite, that'd be awesome. Phone raids. That Wall Street Silver guys, you got to do that. Buy the dips. Cool, man. Awesome. Thank you, American Patriot. Appreciate that. Rabbit Klein, keep buying the dip. Don't worry about it. Listen, at some point, once you're done buying the dip, stop watching silver every day. I know some of you get nervous when you see these down prices, and just go on vacation for a week, like I did. Go on vacation for a week and just relax. It'll pass. Trust me, it'll pass. The ultimate, destination for gold and silver is up. Up, especially in a fiat-driven world, especially in the world we're living in. Right now, you're just seeing pure monkey hammering manipulation, and the tail still trying to wag the dog. FEC, none of these people are around anymore, but keep trying to get a hold of them. I like making phone calls. Eventually, you'll get a hold of someone 24 karat, and I commend you on that. Keep making those phone calls. Make them civil, though. Look forward to your latest video. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Having to pay sales tax. In Florida, sales tax is exempt over $500 for all silver, gold, platinum purchases, providing that you're spending over $500. All items are sales tax exempt in Florida. But I don't know if you're living in, I don't know where you're living. Some states do have sales tax. That's the downside of it all. And then you know what you do is you have some, you know what you guys should do to avoid sales taxes? I shouldn't say avoid sales tax in your state, but create little shows where you trade amongst yourself. There's no sales tax on trade. Trade some guy like some worthless fiat dollars for silver bars. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Michael. Michael Oliver. Appreciate the heads up there. We're early. Yeah, I am. Hey, thanks. I'm 11 and 22 hours ago. Helen Kessler, I'm tardy. Hey, I'm sorry about tardy. And White Buffalo got the first. Hey, that's it for me. Going to call it quits for today's video. My theme for the year and my quote for the year is think for yourself and question authority. And the best way to do this, and some of you already know this, hear me say it over and over, is, first thing to do is question your own narrative. Question what you think you know. Question what you're told, all right? Because a lot of stuff that's a narrative in your brain is not stuff that you thought of yourself. It's what you were told to believe. So, a good place to start is in your own brain. Once you do that, once you start questioning yourself, when you know your why, you'll know your way. Well, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call us anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 and 4. Mondays through Fridays, we buy and sell precious metals, rare coins. We also have an estate business that does jewelry and interesting things as well, antiques and stuff. So keep us in mind on other things. Again, we're in South Florida only, so if you don't live in my area, please find yourself a good local dealer and try to keep that money local. Hey, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.